Our movie today kicks off in the busy city of Los Angeles late at night. The camera focuses on our protagonist Lou Bloom as he sneaks into a train yard attempting to break off a chain link fence. Not exactly what you would expect to see on a typical night in Hollywood's capital. Suddenly, a police officer appears and demands to see some ID, but Lou knocks him out and takes his watch. As Lou continues his journey, he's determined to sell what he has worked on, at least that's what he believes. Lou was cruising down the road when a few cop cars went past him. Curious, he pulls over to check out what's happening, and turns out there's a burning car with people trapped inside. Suddenly, a van full of night crawlers, you know those people who make money by filming violent accidents at night? Yeah, those people show up with Joe leading the way. Lou watches as Joe captures footage while two men save a woman from the car. Lou approaches Joe for a job, but he gets rejected. But our boy Lou doesn't give up that easily, and he decides to start his own night crawling business, but the problem is he's broke. And so, to be able to pay for the new night crawling business, Lou goes down to the beach barefoot, smells the fresh air, and casually rides back with a bike. He then pawns it off to get a camcorder and a police scanner, because those are the two things that he needs to find the location of something bad happening and a camcorder to record it. Now that everything is set up for him, he listens in on the police scanners and heads to various crime scenes, but comes back empty-handed. But finally, he strikes gold and gets some graphic footage of a man shot to death after a carjacking.
Wait, hold on. Did you subscribe to our channel? Come on guys, you're here, you're watching the video. Help us out by hitting the subscribe button, as it really helps out me and my team to make more videos for you guys. And now, let's get back to the recap.
So after taking a few shots, Lou goes to Channel 6 news station and meets with the channel's director, Nina. He shows her the footage with the close-up shots of the dead man and paramedics trying to save him. And Lou, being the businessman that he is, asks for $1,000 for the footage. But Nina was not really impressed with his work, and she offers him like a quarter of what he was asking. And cause he's out of money and he really needs the cash, Lou agrees and takes the cash. But he doesn't just leave right away, of course not. He asks for a job first, but unfortunately they were not hiring. So after not getting a job, we see Lou interviewing someone else and hiring them. And this guy that he hired is called Rick. And the only qualification that Lou put forth for this job was that Rick needed to own a phone with a GPS. And on his first day of work, Lou completely drives like a maniac, scaring Rick half to death. And to make matters worse, Rick accidentally gives Lou the wrong directions to a home fire, causing them to arrive too late to the scene of the fire, and Lou was not happy by the fact that Rick messed up on his first day. But their luck seems to turn around when they arrive at a crime scene where a shooting has taken place in a suburban area. Lou sneaks in from the back and takes a few pictures. The people that he sells these pictures to are kind of skeptical as to how he obtains these pictures, but who cares anyways, cause Lou delivers on his promise. A toddler stabbing, a drunk mom hits biker, you name it, Lou's there to take a photo. In our next scene, we find Lou standing by Nina as two anchors from her station are about to report on an incident he captured on camera. Lou, being the candid guy that he is, invites Nina to a Mexican restaurant, but alas, she turns him down, mentioning her rule of not dating people she works with. Lou tries to convince her that they're not really colleagues, as he only sells her footage, and that doesn't actually make them colleagues, does it? Nina gives in to Lou's charms and agrees to join him for dinner. And it seems like Lou might have a chance at something more than a professional relationship, but Nina is quick to shut him down by calling it a courtesy date. In the next scene, Lou and Rick fail to arrive in time for another incident, leaving Lou with a weak footage of a stabbing in Corona. Nina is furious at Lou, and who can blame her, cause Joe and his team beat Lou to the punch and their coverage hits Channel 2 with all its glory. Lou is also angry at himself for missing out on the scene, and to compensate, he goes to Joe's house and cuts the brakes off his van. Without the brakes, he crashes into a pole, and Lou and Rick arrive in time for Lou to film Joe being wheeled away in a gurney, choking on his own blood. Later, we see Lou and Rick stumble upon a house break-in at a large mansion, and they're also the first to arrive, even before the police. Lou seizes the opportunity and and records two men fleeing the scene. Not only that, he enters the house and films the dead bodies in each room. But before handing over the footages to Nina, he demands $15,000 for the footages. He also wants credit, as video production news can be recognized as a credible news source. He makes it abundantly clear that he's calling the shots now, and Nina has no choice but to agree. The anchors at the station report on the footage, and Nina tells them what to say. But Lou wants all the credit to go to him and his new production company, Video Production News. He's not just a cameraman anymore, he's the CEO of his own media empire. And if you're wondering, yes, that's what the company's called. It's called Video Production News. In the next scene, two detectives have arrived at Lou's doorstep and they mean business. They're not here to sell Girl Scout cookies, folks. They're here to question Lou about the footage he captured and if he saw two trigger-happy men. But Lou acts like a clam, refusing to spill the beans on anything that he may have seen. Lou claims that he doesn't remember the men's faces, which he clearly saw and even recorded, but he does mention that they were riding in an SUV. Next, we see Lou and Rick as they embark on their usual nighttime activities, but wait, this time things are a little different, as Lou has used his recorded footage from the house's break-in, which he sold for $15K, to track down the suspects in the SUV, leading him straight to the suspect's house. As they prepare for their mission, Rick boldly asks for a raise if he's going to continue tagging along on these dangerous missions. Rick just gets to pick a number and he says $75 a night, and Lou instantly agrees to pay him $75 per night. The pair then park their car next to the suspect's vehicle and wait for their moment to strike. Rick then asks for half of the money that they will make that night, and Lou doesn't seem too pleased with this question, and it's written all over his face. And he also had something gruesome planned for poor Rick. As the suspect leaves the house and drives away with his partner, Lou and Rick follow them, and it becomes crystal clear what Lou is planning. He waits for the right moment, calls the cops, then records the imminent shooting between the cops and the suspects. The footage, if he does manage to capture it and not get shot, will sell huge and easily fund his newly found organization to the highest level. So our suspects decide to take a break at a restaurant, but little did they know, Lou and Rick are hot on their trail. Lou quickly calls the cops and rats out the suspects, claiming that one of them is packing heat. Now, Rick is ordered to get out of the car and record the scene from a different angle, but he's hesitant at first because, let's face it, he's not exactly thrilled about facing down potential murderers. And just in time too, because the two cops show up to take down the baddies. Two additional cops arrive and the bullets start flying, and the larger killer is shot dead by the cops while the other one manages to slip away. But Lou and Rick are right there on his tail as the police give chase in a high-stakes pursuit. And as the suspect's car and the police car crash, Lou hits the brakes and jumps out to get the shot of a lifetime. He tells Rick that the suspect is dead, which he obviously isn't, and that he should get out of the car to record the scene. However, things take a turn for the worst when Rick gets closer to the killer and realizes that he's still alive, but before Rick can do anything, he's shot not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the killer then takes aim at the cops, but they're quick on their draw and shoot him dead. As Lou films the killer's corpse, he pans over to capture Rick, who's lying on the ground mortally wounded. Rick accuses Lou of setting him up, claiming that he knew the killer was still alive. But Lou is a bit of a horrible person, yeah. And his plan was to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, getting the footage of a lifetime and eliminating a newly found bargaining power that Rick had over him. And Rick, after telling Lou that he set him up, finally draws his last breath and dies. In the next scene, Nina is captivated by Lou's gruesome footage as he brings it to her. But one of the detectives from earlier barges in and demands to have the tapes as evidence. But Nina wasn't having any of that since she bought those tapes fair and square from an independent contractor. Later on, the detective interrogates Lou, knowing he was holding back some juicy infos about the killer's identity. Lou had cut out footage of the suspects leaving the house, but not for the reasons you might think. He wanted to use that footage to track down the killers himself before the police did, so he could execute his plan and obtain the footage of a lifetime. The detective lets Lou walk free as she doesn't really have any evidence against him. And so, the movie ends with Lou succeeding in his plans and doing whatever needed to be done to get there. Is he a good person? Should he have succeeded? I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section. Also, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I promise to see you guys on my next recap. I love you all. Bye.